will be playing for the Lakers next season. Could we see a trade at the deadline or before that? I guess it's possible. But all we know is LeBron James is going to start the season as a Los Angeles Laker, and he will forego free agency.
So to explain, like, to the people, I feel like there is a lot of, well, if he's kind of exploring free agency, why did he pick up listen, I don't care if you got $10. I don't care if you got $1 billion. I don't care if you got $10 billion. If sitting in front of you is $52 million, you're probably going to pick it up. So LeBron picked up $52.6 million. And Ryan, to your point, he has a no-trade clause. So really, in a world, LeBron owns his own destiny, as he always does, but he could dictate where he will play and guarantee himself $52.6 million along the way. Pretty good deal. That's how business is done when you turn 40 years old in the NBA and you've accomplished everything that there is to accomplish. You have the luxury of pulling these kind of strings. So now I think LeBron is going to bleed this a little bit, guys. I truly think he's going to take a look at what the Los Angeles Lakers do during this upcoming free agency period over the next couple of days, starting this week, to really evaluate and get a grasp on, is this a team that he has a chance to contend for an NBA championship this year? We saw the Lakers make the playoffs. That was a team that was kind of thrown together in the 11th hour when they traded for Luka Doncic. So now it's up to LeBron to figure out if that's a location where he wants to go, or if he wants to try to orchestrate a trade in the coming weeks, is something that would certainly still be feasible.
Couple things. Obviously, as Nick said, you're going to take the money. I think he also is aware that he probably wasn't going to get that money if he entered free agency. He was probably going to be on likely a cut of some sort. So, of course, you're going to take the money. And interestingly, someone put this note on the show sheet today. It's the first time he's opted into that final year player option that he likes to put on his contract. So I think that's one thing that shows I think LeBron's really at the end. I think it's 1 to 2 more years max, and he's really trying to get that last ring, get up to 5, get one closer to Jordan. But I honestly think he kind of wants out of LA. I think the relationship with Pelinka isn't what it's just not there. He built a great team at first and then tore it all down, and it's been rough ever since. Sends his boy Anthony Davis out while Luka's a great player. You know, that's LeBron's boy. People say LeGM, he wanted him out. I don't know if he wanted that move to be made. And I think he's going to really look around, but I think it's a move to the East for sure, because if he wants to get to the finals, it'll be way easier in the Eastern Conference. And I think that the best spot could be the Cleveland Cavaliers.
I mean, Rob, you look at these quotes, stunning, honestly, because typically when the greatest player of all time picks up their player option, usually a celebration, usually kind of a blip in the news. LeBron's back with the Lakers. And the storyline should be, is this the farewell tour in LA? But now the headline, because of these quotes, and I'm going to read them here for you, are, could LeBron really have his eye and 1 foot out the door? LeBron wants to compete for a championship, his agent Rich Paul told ESPN. He knows the Lakers are building for the future. He understands that, but he values a realistic chance of winning it all. We are very appreciative of the partnership that we've had for 8 years with Jeannie Buss and Rob Pelinka, and consider the Lakers a critical part of his career. He goes on to say, we understand the difficulty in winning now while preparing for the future. We do want to evaluate what's best for LeBron at this stage in his life and career. He wants to make every season he has left count, and the Lakers understand that, are supportive, and want what's best for him. Those quotes don't scream to me a guy that's uber committed to staying in LA, to riding this thing out with the Los Angeles Lakers. LeBron's telling you he's still in championship mode. Sounds like he wants one more title, and he has his doubts that that's going to happen in LA with the Lakers.
Because truthfully, it hasn't. Other than the first early run, they were one of the great teams going in, and then COVID shuts it down. They win in the bubble. The next year, they're doing very good again. He gets one of his first major injuries in his career that kind of dampers. It's the first time we're seeing LeBron not look like the Terminator out there. And ever since, it's just been confusing move after fumble after addition that just doesn't work at all, from the Dennis Schroeder situations to the Russell Westbrooks. They had all these old guys coming in. Carmelo Anthony was out there at some point. There's been a lot that's been going on, but it's been a long time since we've looked at the Lakers as true contenders. And I think LeBron, now knowing that he's not as much of a superhero and Superman that he is, that he could just make them that team by just simply being LeBron, I think it's his time to move on and go somewhere else.
All right, let me put my conspiracy hat on for a second, guys. We kind of talked about off camera LeBron. If he's to move, we think obviously the East would be a great place to move, considering all the superstars in the West and what we expect to be a wide open East. We talked about potentially the New York Knicks being another suitor. I don't know the contract stuff. I would assume it might be a little easier for them to move the parts and whatnot to make it happen to go to the Knicks. But my question is to you. If he does go to the Knicks, could this possibly be why we haven't seen any news really regarding the Knicks' open head coach position?
Good conspiracy. I mean, that shot all of us up here up. That's a good conspiracy.
I just thought about that when we were talking about the Knicks.
That coach needs his personal
I don't know if
coach,
he's vibing with Don Staley necessarily.
Well, no comment on that. But LeBron, to wherever he goes, it's obviously going to start to be set up and situated for him. He'll be a part of the decisions. Player construction, roster construction, head coaching, and coaching staff positions. Probably bring some of his guys, but if the Knicks are waiting and trying to make that move, I would definitely wait. Or I would be going and asking LeBron, what head coach do you like? And I'd just be going and hiring him now instead of waiting until he gets in the building.
I will say as well, I think there's an element of, if there's any truth in that, and I saw that there was some stuff of LeBron had said like that he enjoys the city of New York, like on some Instagram stories and stuff this past week. If there's any truth to that, Kobe Altman's got to act fast here, because this Eastern Conference is wide open. It's the good news, right? You've got no Tatum. You've got no Halliburton. We've talked about that at length. It would be a little trickier for the Cavs to get LeBron in Cleveland. We've talked about that with some of the second apron restrictions. You can't aggregate salaries, meaning that it has to be a one-for-one trade for LeBron James unless there's a third team involved. There would need to be a little bit of salary cap gymnastics that need to happen. But the one thing that you can't do is you can't let him go to New York.
They roll through the East if this is the case.
The Knicks, you could make the argument, really, nationally, there's an argument to be made. Are the Knicks currently constructed better suited for the playoffs than the Cavs? I mean, with LeBron James on the roster, they're certainly better constructed than the Cavs. And then your championship window that you think is open because you want to run it back with the core four that hasn't been able to get out of the second round starts to look a little bit more closed.
The Knicks made it further than us this year, and let's not forget we had our problems with them. Like I said this year, I don't want to see any of the current roster playing in New York. I wouldn't be comfortable in a playoff game in Madison Square Garden. You add LeBron into the mix, that's just, you could wrap it up now. But I mean, the Knicks' biggest competition, the team that's eliminated them the last 2 years, will be a non-factor next year. So arguably you could say they are the favorites right now in the East. But yeah, if it's an arms race to see who gets LeBron first, our front office needs to get on that now.
I feel like they already have no bench though. What would they give up to get LeBron?
They would just give up one of Anunoby, Bridges. Anyone.
Yeah, and they're gonna have to, and they'd probably have to work a third team as well. Like the fit. I'll try to tell people this again as well too, because there's a segment of people, and it's a large segment of people out there that are trying to stop this LeBron to Cleveland thing from happening because of the second apron. Stop using the second apron as a shield to be scared of improving this roster. The Boston Celtics were able to get themselves under the second apron within 12 hours. They made 3 or 4 moves in a 12-hour window, and they were able to fly right under that thing. You're able to make moves to elude it, and then once you elude it, it becomes a lot easier to start making big-time trades that could impact the roster for the better. We're in this time now, in this space now with this basketball team where you should be operating on Donovan Mitchell's timeline. You gave up a significant amount of young players and draft capital to win a championship with Donovan. When he signed that extension, it made that even more true. You're going into year 2 of the extension. It was only a 3-year extension. Next year doesn't go your way. We're having a very uncomfortable conversation. Come this time, come late June, early July 2026. I don't want to be having that conversation, man. I would try to get him a little bit of bona fide help. We know because of the Kevin Durant rumors that Kobe Altman isn't as lovey-dovey with this core 4 as we thought that he was. I wonder if right now, as we're recording this show, there's some conversations happening, trying to figure out, if this is a location where LeBron would be willing to waive that no trade clause, and that's a big if. But if that's indeed the case, are the Cavs willing to put the chips on the table and try to figure some things out?